Hi there, we're here at the High-Bike Testcenter in Paznauntal in Austria, and today we did about 150 miles on 3 adventure sports bike or touring bikes. We had the Ducati Multistrada 1200, KTM's Super Adventure 1290 and the BMW S1000 XR. Let's start with the Ducati Multistrada. I'm a beginner. I didn't ride so much Enduros touring bikes before, but today I had to do it. And as a beginner I can tell you the Ducati is more a performance bike. Its suspension is quite tough. Its engine is very powerful. All 3 bikes have 160 horsepower, but you get the most of them at the Ducati at low RPMs. It's quite a punch in the stomach and very hard to ride, especially hair needles, the mountain passes. When you have colleagues like them twos, which are really racers, not touring riders, you have a hard time as a beginner. In the middle we set the KTM, so the Ducati and its opponent, the S1000 XR, wouldn't fight each other and probably destroy each other. So let's talk about the KTM next. The KTM has a V2 engine just like the Ducati, 160 horsepower. And for me as a beginner, it's the easiest bike to ride. It's very comfortable, it's high set, it has a high frame, and it's agile because of the high set engine. The suspension is quite soft compared to the other 2 bikes. And the power output is quite controllable. It's not so extreme like on the Ducati, and it's not as much as a performance bike as the S1000 XR. So if you're a beginner and you have good amount of money, because all 3 bikes are expensive, you can go for the KTM. To our far right, there's the BMW S1000 XR. It has the same engine and the same specs as the S1000R. So in my eyes, it's more a performance bike than an adventure bike or a touring bike or enduro, however you call it. It's an inline 4 and it has a tremendous torque and power, but you need higher RPMs. And as a beginner, like I said, mountain passes, it's maybe not the right choice because the power output it's controllable, but it's racing style. The suspension is quite hard, but you can set it to normal or soft. Braking is very good. Of course it has ABS and it has a shift assistant pro, so upshifting and downshifting is without clutch. But still it's more a bike for a rider who has done many miles on mountain passes and roads, because you need some experience to control it. Niels, you're often on racetracks, but you're also often in the mountains. Which of the 3 bikes was, in your opinion, the best?
All of the 3 bikes are great bikes. They make a lot of fun, we can say that. They have great electronics, ABS, traction control. All of the 3 have high level electronic systems here in the mountain roads. I think all of the three bikes, give you a lot of comfort. Even the two race bikes. I think the most mileage you can do in the saddle of the KTM. So if you're looking for a really great enduro, of a really performance-oriented enduro, and you want to go as far as you want, I think the KTM is the best choice because it has the most comfortable riding position, and it looks like an enduro. I think if you want to do the quickest time up to the mountain, I think the S1000 XR is the fastest bike. I think it's faster than the Ducati, but it's more a race bike than an enduro. The Ducati feels a little bit more than a supermoto, and so I think that is the great difference between these three bikes. Maybe the Ducati is for guys who rode supermoto bikes before. This is a really enduro bike, and here for some race guys who rode a S1000 RR or a CBR or something like that in the past. So we have three different bikes. The Ducati, the engine is better than the older one, but it's not so good as the one in the BMW. But I think Ducatisti will like it. For me, it's too sporty. It has too less torque in the bottom, but it's better than the older one. The BMW has this great shift assistant, so you have no problems with low RPMs because you can shift so easily. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I'm just a technician, and I love this technically perfect solutions. And the Ducati, is more Dolce Vita. I think it's a little bit more sexy too, but for me that doesn't matter.
Because you have a lot of money.
No, people say that, but all of the money my wife already spent. Yeah. But let's go over to Fauli because I think he has the most experience in driving these travel bikes because he's doing most of the travel bike tests at 1000 PS. What do you say?
Well, as you already said, I love these big enduro bikes, these adventure bikes, because I think they're really universal soldiers. They can everything, and nowadays they're really sporty. 160 horsepower. This is really very, very much. But I think it's interesting how different these bikes are with the same horsepowers. Let's start with the Ducati. It's a typical Ducati. I think it's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. When you want to ride it quite slow and easy, it's hard to ride. It doesn't make what I want. But when you want to ride it really sporty, it works great because you have to rev it very high, and then it's good. The brakes are really good, and the engine is for sporty ride better than for relaxing and cruising. But it's better than the old one, than the former model, because the engine was really it was hard to ride, and now it's really easy with this DVT system. In the middle we see we have an Austrian flag, red, white, red. I hope you recognize it. In the middle, the Austrian bike. No, I like
Arnold is proud of you.
I like this most, but not because I'm Austrian. But for me, it's the most fun bike. It looks really big. I don't want to say it looks fat, but it looks really big.
Massive.
It looks massive, but it's really easy to handle. 160 horsepower of a two-cylinder engine, but really smooth, and all the electronics they work good. Traction control, you can slide a little bit, but not so that you fall down. It works great. I don't know if the KTM engineers wanted it like that, but it works really good. So I like this most. And the most performance bike, if I want to be fast, I would prefer the BMW XR. The S1000 RR, the superbike, it has this engine, a little less horsepower, but it's a sports bike, and one thing once again on BMW, the quick shifter gearing up and down, it's really cool, and I think it would be the fastest. Perhaps not in the hairpins, but or you say Hair needles?
Hair needles, hairpins.
Okay, you know what I mean. On every on all the other situations on these windy roads in the hills, you're for sure the fastest one. When I rode the XR, I thought, please go away, guys. I could be much faster than the others, only with this bike.
Okay.
Niels likes to disagree.
No, I don't want to disagree, but we have to think about the cost of the bike, and we have to think about there was one bike with us that carried all of the luggage, all of the day, the navigation system, and so on, everything, and it wasn't slower than the other ones, and it has just 125 horsepower. It was the BMW R1200 GS, the Alps Superstar. Once again, boxer engine out of the sharp corners. It was out of the sharp corners, impressive bike, and there were just really less situations where these bikes were faster, but there were a lot of situations where all of us wanted to go on the GS because we were tired, it was so hot, or we just want to relax and go easy and fast, and that was impressive again. BMW R1200 GS. Even if there are 160 horsepower bikes, it's the best bikes in the Alps still.
I just can add as a beginner, the BMW R1200 GS allows for the most mistakes, so it's easy to ride. Nevertheless, we shed a lot of blood, sweat and tears, 35 degrees Celsius up in the mountains, in the sun. So we also went in a river and cooled ourselves off. A colleague of us also mentioned he could go racing with the S1000 XR. That's a lot of information for you. If you like some more information, hit the subscribe button and please hit the like button for us. We really did a hard job today. See you next time.